Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. Now, most of the people in most of the countries, they were still under lockdown, but I think that is a great opportunity to be learning something or to be spending time learning the charts or maybe just improving on your strategy or just learning any new skill. Right, so the markets have been moving fairly slowly in the last week. So what we're going to be doing this week, I'm going to be giving you short-term moves so you can identify these short-term trades. My trading style is long-term swings where I hold trades for a couple of days, sometimes even weeks. But for this, because we are mostly in corrective structures and the market is usually in a range, so most of the setups that we're going to be looking at are pretty much short term, 50, 100 pips there. So that's the kind of market that we're currently in. That's how the prices are moving. But that doesn't mean that we should not be trading. There's still some opportunities, even if it's not those big moves. Right, so you can check out my contact details on the description of all my videos. That includes our website. So our website is Elliott Wave Principal. Make sure that there's that dash between Elliott Wave and Principal so you get the right website, or you can just click straight onto this link. It will take you straight to our website if you want more information about what we do. Okay, so just a brief of what we do here on the website. You'll find that all the members get access to all the charts that I go through here on Sundays. So what you have here is Elliott Wave analysis for all the pairs that I go through. That is from the US dollar pairs, the euro pairs, the pound pairs. They all have wave counts from weekly, daily, 4 hour, and the 1 hour. So that is the benefit for that. We also have daily market analysis webinar, where we go through the trade setups in detail. So you also have trade setup tab here, where we've got setups, but those setups, we also discuss them during this daily webinars. So you can see here, we've got recordings of the last 10 daily webinars. So Mondays to Fridays, we've got daily webinars where we basically discussing trade management. We've got trade setups here, but we also have to discuss this trade setup. So because some members who join don't necessarily understand our strategy, so we explain exactly how to take these setups, as you can see here. All right, so this is one of the setups that we're looking at, that is CHFJPY. But CHFJPY, as you know, we did not only just look at it from here, we started looking at CHFJPY from here, and we expected a move to the upside and coming down here. This is just an example of how the website works, right? So those are the trade setups. Get them listed there. You also have, just as an example, all the yen pairs, the analysis on all the yen pairs. Let's go through that just as an example. US dollar JPY, you'll find that you've got a weekly analysis on US dollar JPY. We're looking for US dollar JPY to pull back and then continue to the upside. That is on the weekly. So if you want to check what the daily looks like, then you just go to the daily, to the daily time frame there, and then you see that what we're expecting on the daily. So basically, when you're going into the lower time frames, you find tuning. So these charts are very clear and easy to see. It's even better on the mobile. That is, I'm actually looking at, it is actually US dollar JPY. And until the 1 hour time frame that we'll be looking at here. So that is US dollar JPY. We currently here just, we've made a corrective structure here. This corrective structure that you see, this chart was posted on the 28th of March. So that was last week, must have been Friday here. So we are looking at this corrective structure. It has now played out. Just look at this corrective structure. Now we're looking at this setup for downside. Let me just show you on the real chart. I know we're still going to go through the market analysis, but just to show you while we look at these charts here. So that was a US dollar JPY that you saw on the 1 hour. All right, so you saw that we were expecting that we were going to have a corrective structure. That is the corrective structure that I was showing you. Now, that corrective structure is not a trade setup. Even though we know the direction, it could have been 1, 2, 3, and then it goes down, but we can see here that it made a regular flat. So now our setup for downside is this one. We're looking for these big moves. So we're not looking to trade within these ranges. So this is why I'm saying this is where the current is at in for the next coming session, and especially last week. We're currently in this range, so you don't want to be trading these to the upside here, this here. These are very short moves. So even though this is about 100 to 150 pips, for me, that's my trading style. This is the kind of trade setups that I look for. I look for these big moves, and this could be another one that is coming here. Not confirmed as yet, but that's what we're going to look at in the next when we start with the market analysis webinar. So that is what you get here on the website. And the benefit that you get on there. So you will also find any information that you are looking for regarding our courses. Let me just go back to the website. So that's where we are here. So obviously this info here is only accessible to members. So as you can see, we've got commodities, that is gold, silver, and oil listed there. The cross pairs, these are your AUDJPY, and the indices all listed there. So the recording, as I've said, it will be there. And also when you attend the course, that's where you're going to find the link. So this was the last course in February talking about the course. The next live course is going to be from the 14th of April. So most of the countries will still be under lockdown. So we may, this is usually a 10-day course. So we may have 2 sessions in a day. So we can go through the course in 5 days, depending on what members agree on there. Because we know most of the people are not tied up due to work and all that, and they can work from home. So you can actually attend 2 sessions in a day for the course. So that is the course from the 14th of April. The live course starts. But if you want to access the course immediately, it is accessible immediately from the website. You can purchase the course on the website. If you go to subscription plans, so you'll find options to purchase the course. So there's an option here. If you purchase the course, the full course will give you 12 months access into the premium plan, where you have got access to all of this for a year. So there are different options. So this one here will give you 6 months access to the premium plan. So there's also a Fibonacci course, and there's also the indicator seminar, the stock RSI indicator seminar. This is the special indicator that we use to confirm our setups. Now, talking about our setups, this just I'm just going to talk about this briefly. It's just something exciting that we're busy with. There is one of our members who is busy with an EA, an expert advisor, that will automatically take the trades based on our strategy. So what I've always tried to do is to avoid making emotional decisions when taking the trades. So our strategy is going to be incorporated into that EA. So you just set up the EA, and it will take the trade when the confirmations are all ticked. So that will be something amazing, and that will improve a lot on our strategy, because now that removes the emotion out of it. It's just going to be the machine doing that. You just set it up based on the strategy, and it takes the trade for you. We're currently busy with the tests. So the member is busy with the test and trading the strategy. He's been testing it in the 1 hour, in the 1 minute time frame. Not necessarily that we trade the 1 minute time frame, just to get a lot of results in the meantime, and we've been trialing it in some of the setups that we've been taking. So that's just something amazing that we're going to be talking about. We'll look at as soon as that is completed. Currently busy with back testing, so the videos of what it looks like, it looks actually amazing. So this should improve our trading. All right, so let's get started with today's analysis. We'll start with the cryptocurrencies as usual. Let's go through Bitcoin. Now, looking at Bitcoin, let's go through to the weekly chart on Bitcoin. So this is what we're looking at. Without showing any labeling here, we'll show it just now. we're looking at this as a three-wave move, and this is an impulsive move in the lower degree. This is a weekly chart, so we need to look at it. Let's just look at the higher time frame. We're looking at this as a leading diagonal in wave A, a pullback in B, and then a C, impulsive wave C. Right, so what we have here is a bigger structure, which we're going to call A here. Let's label it in green, A, and then a B here. Is this going to go now all the way to retest the previous high here to complete this move here in red? Let's get the red color here. This is the structure that we're possibly looking at on Bitcoin. So what I'm focusing here, it looks like we may go to 20,000 in one go, but that's not how the market moves, right? So what we can have here is that we can go up in three waves, because the move up here has started in three waves, which means that this is not necessarily an impulse yet. So what's going to happen here is that we may have this move going up in three waves, just like the first one here. There's also three waves. Let's just clean it up here. There's also three waves there. So it's three waves down, three waves up. These three waves can go and retest the 10,000 area here. Okay, so from there we can get another move here down and another move here. Only then can we then go to the 20,000 area, move one down, and then upside. So the cryptocurrencies can still be in this range for a while. Okay, so but let's just complete this structure and its labeling, and just to do it correctly. So this will be a W in the higher degree. Let's use the white color there. So this will be the W, it's the highest degree here for this structure, and all of this will be your X degree here. So it's W, X, and then a Y. Now this yellow that you see here is resuming the original move, which was here. This was the original move, the first move, and we'll be looking for this to do this. But as you can see here, it can take a couple of months, couple of years within this range. For now, we are currently here on this upside here. We need to, we're gonna go down to the lower time frame to see what we are getting here from this lower time frame. Are we going all the way up, or we're gonna get this pullback and then retest the 10,000, come back down for one, and then upside? For now, what we have got enough data for is the next move. Obviously, as you focused further ahead, the accuracy goes a little bit lower. But we've got enough data here to determine what the next move is. So let's go down to the 4 hour, and we're just going to be looking at this current move to the upside. We can already see that we've got three waves down here. Is this three waves over, and are we going to make a move to the upside to go retest the top? So let's have a look. Looking at the 4 hour here, let's make it auto scale here. Looking at the 4 hour, what we already have, so the reason why I'm saying this has started a move to the upside in three waves is because of this. Let's make this full screen so it can be a bit clearer. So we've started a move up in three waves, as you can see here on Bitcoin. This is a move up, this is a correcting move down, this three waves also down, and then we're looking at this one to the upside. Now the next move here was this regular flat. As you can see, a move down, a correction here, and then a move down. Are we now starting the new yellow move currently here? This first leg A, this is the first leg A that we're looking at here. So this can actually be the W here, because that's three waves. So let's have a look at this one. So we could be getting this corrective structure, which would be the X, which will be the same size in degree as this one. And then we'll be looking for this one as a move to the upside. So overall, the structure that we're going to be looking at is this W, X, Y move in this higher degree. Okay, so we're still looking for a bit of upside here, but that upside may not go all the way. So we're just going to be looking for this one to give us the three wave moves here. Just show the three wave move here. This 1, 2, and the 3. Back around 8,000-9,000 on Bitcoin if we break out of this structure. So that's what we're going to be looking at on all the cryptocurrencies. Now, what about the 10,000 that we've been looking at? So if we're going to go there, so that means this is going to be a bit of extended, or we may get this a pullback in another degree and then a move to the upside, because this is not going up in 5 waves. There's no impulse here. As you can see, it's only 3 waves, right? So that's what we're looking at. So a 3-wave move to the upside to go retest 8,000. Let's go back to the lower time frame, go off the full screen just to see what we're going to have here. So that's the first move, 1, 2, 3. That's what we're going to be looking at to go back to the 10,000 area. So let's see how this goes. So we're going to need to get confirmation of upside. We're still busy in this corrective structure in this move here. We're still busy with this move. So this could break out to the upside, and then we'll be looking for this 1, 2, 3-way move on Bitcoin. So that is the short-term move that we're going to be looking at on Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrencies. Let's look at Ethereum now. Now looking at Ethereum, similar structure. As you can see, 3 waves up, corrective structure here, and then we're starting to make a move to the upside. Is this now the move that we're looking at here for one more to the upside before coming down? So that's the short-term move that is on all the cryptos. We're just looking for completion of these moves so we can see a bit of a move to the upside before any pullback. Litecoin will be similar. Just before we go to Litecoin, let me just show you the bigger structure on Ethereum as well. Bigger structure on Ethereum, just to show you why we're looking at that. So Ethereum as well, we've made an A, B, C structure here. This looks like a corrective structure, so that's why we're looking for these moves to do that. Okay, so we're looking for that to go to the upside. Right, so this may not go up in a straight line, and if it doesn't, that means this is going to be a double correction. But for now, we're just looking at that move. We're looking at this. We're looking at this corrective structure to continue higher. Right, so that is Ethereum. Litecoin. Right, so this Litecoin is also similar in structure to Ethereum, as you can see. Similar 3-wave pullback. We're starting to look for upside. One more up here. Are we going to go all the way to retest 120 here on Ethereum, or break it slightly so we can have a structure like this? Then there will be 1, 2, 3 there before we go up to the upside. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Looking at the lower time frame is similar to what we just looked at on Bitcoin. We're looking for these smaller degree structures to confirm. So on Litecoin, we'll be looking for this move here, like that, and possibly continue to the upside to complete this move. So this is the structure that started here. We started with this move to the upside, this spike that you see, amount of space there. Now we've got this move here. This should have been yellow. Then we'll be looking for this one before we make a move to the upside. So this long-term forecast, for now, we're just going to be looking for this one to possibly make this 1, 2, 3 corrective structure here, and then a bit of upside. Follow the rest of the cryptocurrencies. Ripple. Now looking at Ripple, we're looking for Ripple to just make a move back down here to this level. This move here, let's use a different color. This is a 3-wave structure. So we would have started here with the move right at the top here. That's that, move down here, and continuation to the upside. Right, so those are the cryptocurrencies, and those are the short-term moves that we're going to be looking at in the next coming sessions. These are not necessarily trades, but just forecast of what we could be expecting in the next coming session. Right, so those are the cryptocurrencies, and those are the structures that we're looking at here on Ripple. You're going to be looking for a short-term move to the upside and a bit of a bounce, just like the rest of the cryptos. The indices, we're going to look at the 1-hour time frames so we can see what the direction of the market in the next coming sessions. Let's look at S&P 500, the S&P 500. Let's look at S&P 500. Now the S&P 500, let's go to the side just to show what we are focusing on the site. Let's close all of this. Let's go to the S&P 500 or the indices. Let's go to the indices. Indices, so we can look at this from the site. Now on the S&P 500, just going through the 1-hour time frame. So just looking at the 1-hour time frame, we're currently in this structure. We've already made this move to the upside. We're currently doing this corrective structure, and after the correction, we should make a move to the upside. So let's look at a couple of options of how this could actually play out here. Let's go back to the chart here. Now, what we expected was that this is going to make a zigzag move back here, corrective structure here, and then move to the upside. As you've seen, as we focus it, we're just looking for this one to do this, and then that here. So that will be a simple ABC corrective structure. Why are we looking at that corrective structure there? It's because the overall correction here is this. Let's show the labeling here. We're looking at this. This is actually a W there, an X there. It's an extended W there. Let's take off one there. So this is a W, that's an X that we're expecting here. The current move here is an X. So that means here we've got a lower degree ABC. Let's do it quick. This is not on there. So we're looking for this to be an ABC structure in that same degree. So this is how we update the chart. So we're just looking for this. Now, when this corrective structure is done here, we'll be looking for this one, and this one would have completed this corrective structure. Either this from here, after making this corrective structure, we're going to have this one continue straight. It does not always go straight. It may make a regular flat 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 pulsing move, and then that becomes your X, and this becomes your ABC structure. So there's a number of options that we need to manage when this plays out. So this is what the S&P 500 could play out like, just like the rest of the crypto of the indices. So that's a possibility. It can do that, a regular flat or the simple zigzag, and go down like that. So which one is it going to be? So we wait for the confirmation of our indicator to tell us, is this the end or is this the end? Right, so that is, you cannot trade wave theory alone. I mean, if you look at the accuracy of just trading Elliott wave theory alone, you find about 55% accuracy if you do not have the indicator. So the indicator improves the accuracy to about 70-75%. Very good, and it actually takes you out of the wrong trades, because you're not going to take the wrong trades because it's not going to confirm. That's what I was talking about, the expert advice that we currently busy back testing. It will eliminate that. That may improve the hit rate as well. So the Dow, let's look at the Dow. We're looking for this same structure as the S&P 500. This 1, 2, 3 down here. This is going to be another 1, 2, 3 here. Make another 1, 2, 3 to the downside. So that will still be a corrective structure like this. All right, so this, just make this one clearly. This one could be a WXY structure here, and here it would have 1, 2, 3 wave structure there. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at. A bit of a move to the downside in the next coming sessions. So if you like to trade to the downside, you can wait for that confirmation for downside. Eventually, we're looking for this one to then come down from there. Okay, just to show the whole structure here on the Dow. May not be so clear. So this is actually the first wave. We came down in 5 waves. Let's make it full screen here. Came down in 5 waves, as you can see there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And we're looking for this one to be making this corrective structure. Right. That is Dow. And then the NASDAQ. NASDAQ also need to get this corrective structure. So WX, so this should be a 3-wave move. Even if this one is going to come back for one down first before we make a move to the upside. That's what we're going to be looking for here. But the next move here is this move to the downside. One correction here, move to the downside, but we should get something like this, a deeper corrective structure like that. Now looking at the UK 100, the UK 100, as you can see, is playing out nicely there within the corrective structure. We've made a 3-wave move to the upside. Now it looks like we are making another 3-wave structure here. 1, 2, this one could be making another move down here. Bit of a short move to the downside to come and do this structure. So that will be a structure like this. Now if you look at that, that will be a move here and another 3 waves. So if you look at this, let's just switch off here the labeling so you can see the structure. Clearly it will be a WXY structure. Then we should be looking for this to come down here, and that will be a corrective structure overall. Then we look for downside. That is the UK 100. Let me just go up on the weekly time frame on this, so we can see where we're coming from. In the weekly, we've already broken out of this higher, bigger structure here. So this is nothing but a pullback. We will make another move to the downside. Okay, so even if this move is this regular flat, So let's see how this plays out. So if you look at this here, this is a move here. 1, 2, 3, and now we're coming down with this structure. Let's show you the structure on the website here. The bigger structure on the UK 100 on the weekly, so you can understand where we're coming from. So that is the structure. We're looking for this to pull back, give us this A, B, C structure. We've already started with the move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse. Now this is the pullback. We're looking for downside. You can look at the structure. That is your weekly chart there. All right, so that is the UK 100 and the DAX. The DAX, show you the weekly as well on the DAX. So the weekly on the DAX. So on the DAX, we have made this interesting expanding flat here. Is this going to make a move to the upside? Let's see if we're getting confirmation that we're going to get one more move to the upside to confirm these 5 waves that we're looking at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have a look here, see if we're getting that confirmation. Is this the end, or we still have one more up there? Let's have a look on the chart here. Looking at the weekly. Looking at the weekly, so this we were looking at as an expanding flat, looking for this one to go and make one more up here. Let's look at the daily. I don't think we're going to make one more up here. That may have ended the move here, which looks like we're just getting a pullback. So that means the wave 5 has already completed at this area. But that we will confirm. For now, what your next move is going to be is we're looking for this as a corrective structure. Look for this move to make another one to the upside. After this correction is complete, let's go again into the lower time frame on the 4-hour. So looking at the 4-hour here, it looks like a clear corrective structure, so that we are, from this we're going to get one more up. We've started with 3 waves to the upside here. This is another 3 waves to the downside. It's not going down aggressively, so that looks like a corrective structure. We may get another 3 waves here and a move to the downside. Let me not make it, let me not clutter it, and need to use a different color. So that will be the move that you're looking for. Currently, we're looking for that corrective structure to break to the upside, even if that upside is just short term. So the trend is to the downside, and the overall structure that we're looking at will be to the downside like that. Okay, so for now, look out for this breakout to the upside on the DAX, and we'll be looking for downside there. That is the DAX and the NIKKEI. NIKKEI showing a pullback. So we've got a pulsing move here on the NIKKEI. Got a pulsing move here. Looks like another pulsing move. 1, 2, 3, 4 waves so far here. Let's show those 4 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and possibly a deeper pullback to complete this. And this could be a regular flat. So if it's a regular flat, we expect something like this. Then you expect this one to make a move to the downside. So if you see a deeper corrective structure here, you can take the trade to the downside on the Nikkei, because you're only looking to be taking trades to the downside because the trend is to the downside. So anything against the trend is a high risk trade. So if you see a setup for downside, you take it, even if you're still within this correction and you know that this may reverse from this area. You just need to manage the trade like that. That is the Nikkei. And lastly, the NIFTY. The NIFTY, you're looking for this to continue lower. We've got a 3-wave move to the downside. We may get another 3 waves in the same degree, retest the low here, and make a pullback here, eventually making this structure and then continuation to the downside. So again, here on the NIFTY, if you look at this one here, if you get a pullback here, you can take it down. So any setup to the downside on the indices is a good trade to the downside because it may go all the way. All right, so those are the cryptocurrencies as well as the indices. Now let's go to the US dollar pairs. Let's start with the Euro US dollar, but before Euro US dollar, let's look at the dollar index. The dollar index on the 1 hour, we're seeing one more up here. So the dollar is going to push one more up, right? So that means the Euro US dollar is going to have one push lower. So expect one push lower on Euro US dollar, maybe even retest the low here. But at some point here, this may be a deeper corrective structure, but we're still looking for downside. We're still, the trend is still to the downside. I don't see a deeper pullback there on the euro. So continuation to the downside. If you get a setup on the euro, you're taking it back to that level, and the DXY, you're taking it back to the top there. You're taking it to the top here. So strength for the US dollar in the next coming session still, and weakness for the euro against the dollar in the next coming sessions. Simple as that. Like I said, it's short-term trades on the 1 and the 4 hour. That's what you're going to be looking at. Look for setups and take it all the way down to this level. Right, so that is euro US dollar. Looking at pound US dollar. Now, pound US dollar 1 hour looks like it's going down. If you look at this, this looks like a regular flat, but there's no confirmation of this reversal yet. So what we'll be looking for here will be a 3-wave pullback here, and then a move to the upside. But to give you a perspective on what we are looking at on pound US dollar, let's look at this weekly chart here on our side. Let's look at this weekly chart on pound US dollar. Let's look at the US dollar pairs there. So I'm still looking for upside on pound US dollar, and I'll show you why. Pound US dollar on the weekly. So if you look at pound US dollar, I have not updated the weekly since that 1,000 pip move that started from right here. If you can see this chart, it's not clear from this. It was posted on the 19th of March. Before that, that 1,000 pip move happened there. So let's have a look here. Take a closer look. Now, what am I expecting? I expected that pound US dollar was going to make a move down here, and then we're going to have this all the way up. That's almost 2,000 pips. Now, where are we? We are currently here. All right, so somebody's annotating there. Right, so we're currently here at this level. It's about 1,000 pips from where we started here. Now, we have been trying to get a trade to continue this for the last week or last week and a half in our group. Why are we looking for a move to the upside? Because we know that the trend is upside. We've already started this move to the upside. Why are we looking for that move to the upside? Because we're looking at this as a 3-wave structure. That is a 3-wave structure that we're looking at. So overall on the weekly, this may be going down, showing corrective structure pullbacks, but overall we're looking for this move back to this level on pound. Now let's have a look here on the actual chart. As you can see, this has played out exactly as forecasted, and we are already now here. So now let's come here and see what we are getting. So what we're getting is this corrective structure, which may not be complete either. 1, 2, 3. This may go still sideways. It can do this still. That will be a W. That will be an X. You can still be in this area, in this range for quite some time before we actually go to the upside. So until this structure to the downside is invalidated, I'm still looking for upside. And if you look at the weekly chart, still showing you that you've got upside. That move does not look anything like a down move. What you have here is a pulsing move. This is a weekly chart. This is just a week that has been in a range, not even 200 pips, a 200 pip range. That's telling you that this is going sideways and it's not going down, as most would expect. So this is a corrective structure. We are still going to make a move to the upside as per the overall structure that we are looking at on pound US dollar. You see the perspective that you have here on the weekly is completely different to what you see in the lower time frame. So this is just going sideways. So we can take a couple of weeks here, maybe 2-3 weeks here, maybe a few candles here before we make a continuation to the upside. So important to be patient, and when we get a setup to the upside here, that's another 1,000 pips to the upside, similar to what you got here. So that's what we're going to be looking at on pound US dollar. Right, so let's go through to the rest of the US dollar pairs. Now, US dollar CAD on the weekly. Is this a reversal? Now, let's go to the weekly chart to see how we looked at US dollar CAD. So US dollar CAD, as you can see, we actually started taking a trade here. We had a trade set up here for about 300 pips that we took only halfway there, but it went all the way up to retest the top here. As forecasted, we took a modest target here. Now, this is starting to make a reversal here. If it starts making a reversal, this is what we're going to be looking at, back to the lows here. But we need to get that confirmation. We are currently here We've made a slight pullback here, but this could be a three-wave pullback. And if it makes a three-wave pullback, that means it invalidates the structure. That means this is all your move, correction, and it's going to make a move straight to B without a deeper pullback. Right, so let's have a look at what it looks like now on US dollar CAD. This is the reversal that we're talking about here. Also, does not look like an aggressive one until you go to the daily. Let's go to the daily and see what it looks like. So on the daily, it looks a lot clearer. You've got a three-wave move and a pullback. So this is a three-wave move here, and this is a pullback. Let's have a look at this pullback. We're going to look at it again in the 4-hour. Are we going to get another 1, 2, another 1, 2, 3, making this a WXY structure? It's not so clear on this time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour. Now looking at the 4-hour, you can clearly see that we had three waves to the downside, as you can see clearly here. 3 waves down. Now we're starting another move to the upside. I was expecting that we're just going to have a pullback and we're going to have another 3 waves to the downside like that before we make a move to the upside again. So if we get a move like that, that means that this is not the end. We're going to break higher than this, right? So let's have a look at what the structure looks like now. We're currently building up this corrective structure in the red degree. That's a move to the upside, that's a move up. This could be a corrective structure overall, a move down, and then a move like that. So maybe a bit of a sideways move for the next couple of sessions here before we resume higher. I would be expecting an overall reversal there if this was coming down aggressively, but it has come down correctively. 3 waves is not it's not a reversal move, it's a continuation pattern. So we've started in 3 waves. It's either going to be a single 3-wave move or a double or a triple. For now, we've got one single one, but the next one is also not an impulse, so that means we may be getting a double like this. So it's a bit of a mess here. Corrective structure, we don't want to trade within the correction. We at least want to trade this if it confirms, and then overall we want to trade the yellow there. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking at on the CAD. So we can't do anything here until this correction within this structure completes, and then we start looking for this trade. Right, that is US dollar CAD. US dollar CHF. Now, US dollar CHF, just like we expected on the DXY, we're expecting a bit of a push to the upside. So this will be a WXY XZ structure in this lower degree to complete this structure here. May even retest the top here because the DXY is still showing some strength, or the dollar index is still showing some strength in the next coming session. So this is still going to be a bit of a continuation move to the upside. Only here are we going to start looking for a pullback. That is US dollar CHF. Audi US dollar. Just look at Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar. This does not look like it's going to make a continuation to the upside. It looks like we're going to have a corrective structure here and continuation to the downside. Reason why I was expecting this was that I was looking at this as a leading diagonal. It can still be a leading diagonal A, but we should still continue lower here because the structure is still showing further downside. So this may be another leading diagonal there. Maybe another leading diagonal in the lower degree. Let's show that in the lower degree. Let's get the red color. Leading diagonal in the red degree, A, B, and then a C. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So still showing some weakness. That just means that the dollar will still be strong in the next coming sessions. I don't expect this to reverse from here. I'm expecting continuation to the downside in this red degree. Right, so that's what we're going to be looking at on Audi US dollar, and it will be the same as New Zealand US dollar. So we've got the 3-wave corrective structure. I was expecting only a single 3 waves. It looks like we're going to have a double. I don't see this reversing current now. We may still get another one to the downside, because the DXY is still showing some strength. So that's why I'm still expecting this corrective structure will continue lower. Okay, so let's see how that plays out. So that is on New Zealand US dollar. US dollar ZAR. Let's have a look at US dollar ZAR, just spiraling up to the top, high and high. And this is not good news for South African rand against the US dollar. Right, as you can see here, now when you look at this structure, this is not even an ABC structure. It looks like the last piece of the wave 5 here. If you look at this on the weekly, you've got this 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like we're doing the last wave 5 here. So the US dollars still has some way to go to the upside. So as long as it still keeps showing continuation patterns, this is still gonna go higher. There's no signs of reversal on US dollar ZAR. It's still showing continuation to the upside, unfortunately. I think this is the all-time highs on US dollar ZAR. This is the weakest that the rand, South African rand, has ever been against the US dollar. Okay, so unfortunately, that's okay, and unfortunately, as far as the South Africans are concerned, and especially if you've got your money in rands. Right, so continuation to the upside on the weekly. Let's look at the lower time frame. There is absolutely no signs for reversal on this. So any pullback is an opportunity to ride the trend higher. Obviously, it's a bit risk now. It's a bit too expensive to buy or sell at this level. You need a decent corrective structure. Okay, a decent pullback, but this is still going to continue higher. Pound yen. Let's switch off here. So pound yen, just like the other pound pairs, I'm still expecting upside now. Pound yen, I was also expecting in the week on Thursday, we're looking at this to continue higher. So I saw this confirmation in the week. Let's go to the 1 hour. Went up only 70 pips and come back again. So in the week, we saw this structure here looking like it's going to go all the way. But this what it didn't go, it only went up 70 pips. This was about 70 pips and then it came back down. So essentially it was making this structure on the 1 hour. As you can see here, this is a structure. This is a structure there. 1, 2, 3. Now we're looking for another 1, 2, 3. Bit of a pullback there, another one here. So this will be a double correction here. And then a continuation to the upside. Okay, so we'll be looking for this one to be a corrective structure there. We'll be looking for that upside. If you're going to have a trade here, it will be against the trend to the downside. This will be against the trend. Overall, we're still looking for this to continue higher. If you look at the weekly on pound yen, just like the other pound pairs, it's a bit opposite to what we're expecting on the yen pairs, on the rest of the yen pairs. As you can see, this is a pulsing move to the upside. This is a corrective structure. This is a 1 week candle. So we're just expecting to go sideways, a couple of weeks, and then we continue higher. Maybe a bit frustrating to wait, but you need patience. This one will still continue to the upside. US dollar yen, we spoke about this one in the beginning, that it has now made a corrective structure in the 1 hour time frame, or rather the 4 hour first. Let's look at the 4 hour. Is this now going to be a regular flat? And then we start looking for a trade to the downside. So we need to get a confirmation for downside so we can have this structure. So that is US dollar yen. We'll be watching this. So if it keeps going up from here, this will be against, this will change the structure and we're going to have to adjust the structure. But what we're expecting, what is clear here is this structure. Simple 5 waves down, correction, and we'll be looking for another one to the downside before we go up. Right, so downside on the yen pairs is all round. If you look at euro yen, let me show you euro yen. I've shown euro yen from here. What you see on euro yen is what we saw from here. We saw that it's going to come up here, it's going to come down all the way. Let me show you how we looked at euro yen and the rest of the yen pairs. And this is what you get if you're on the group. So let's have a look at the yen pairs. First, let's check when this was posted. It's an analysis on all the yen pairs. Let's start with the US dollar JPY. We're on the euro. On the euro, we're looking for the 1 hour time frame. Let's look at the daily. This one is it's not updated yet. So on the daily, we expected the euro was going to make a move up here and then downside. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour on the euro. This was the daily, sorry. Let's go to the 4 hour. This is already updated. I think let's have a look here. Unfortunately, this structure is already updated. So this we expected to make a move from here and then downside. I wanted to show you before the update. I think this one is the most recent. It's already updated. Let's see the date here, 23 March, not updated yet. Let's go look at the 1 hour, maybe a lot clearer. Yes, here it is. It's clearer from the 23rd of March, because you can see we saw that this was going to make a move up here and it's going to make a move down here. We're already around 117 area. We're already here. We're looking for this to continue lower. So any setup on the yen pairs for sell, you take it. We're looking for downside still on the yen pairs. And this is not only on euro, this is for all the yen pairs. You saw the US dollar yen, we're expecting downside. CHFJPY, we're also expecting downside. If you look at CHFJPY, we also had the same setup. As you can see, it reversed straight from here, and we're currently around 111 area. Let's have a look on the actual chart here on the 1 hour. This is where we are, and this is where we forecasted that this was going to reverse. So we're already coming down here. Now, we need to look for a entry here for continuation to the upside, sort of to the downside. So any sell setup confirmed by our indicator, we'll be back testing the EA as well on these setups. So this is continuation to the downside. Right, so that is what the yen pairs look like. Another one is AUD yen. Let's have a look at AUD yen, and I will focus at AUD yen. This was all posted on the same day on the 20th. This one was on the 25th. Let's go to the actual setup here. So as you can see, AUD yen, we expected this one to come down, corrective structure. As you can see, this arrow to the side is showing corrective structure and then downside. Obviously, we've not gone down that much. Let's look at what it looks like at the moment. This was the forecast to sell it from here. What we have now is the corrective structure. As you can see, clear three-wave structure. Now we're looking for this one to continue lower. But this looks like it's going to make a continuation here pattern, and then we'll start looking for this. We're looking for downside still on the rest of the yen pairs. Yen, New Zealand yen. So we look at New Zealand yen. New Zealand yen, we're expecting downside as well. This is where we got it from. Looking for this to continue all the way to the downside. Now we're looking for an entry. We're looking for a clear entry to continue riding this trend. Okay, so that's what it looks like. This was a nice entry point here. Pulsing move down, a correction, and then it comes down. We're looking for a corrective structure to enter the trade to the downside. CAD, yen. This one has made a bit of a pullback. So this, if you remember 3 weeks back, when the yen pairs did these three-wave structures, this was on the 23rd, around the 23rd, when we made these three-wave structures, we expected these moves to the downside. If you go to the webinar around the 23rd, you'll see that we're expecting that after these three-wave moves, we're coming down. I actually started with this here, looking for downside. So let's have a look here. CAD. Looks like we'll look for continuation to the downside. Structurally, this may make another one to the upside, but just because we'll just be looking for the correlation with the rest of the yen pairs, and with that, we'll expect this to just continue lower from here. Let's see how that goes. This is CAD yen, and let's have a look at it from the chart. I just need to close some of this. Close some of this. Thus, we got so much clutter there. Right, let's continue with CAD yen from the site. Look at CAD yen. So CAD yen, as you can see, we expected this from when we made these three-wave moves to the upside. That's what we've got here. We've made a bit of a move here. It has made a pullback. I'm still expecting continuation to the downside. Okay, I'm still expecting to the sorry, just a second here. There's a question that's sent privately. Do you ever look at open interest in general? What is your take on it? Let's finish the market analysis. I just need to make sure that we finish this. You can ask the questions that are not related to the charts at the end of the webinar. If it's anything related to the charts, you can ask right now. if it's not something that's going to take us too much time. We'll try to get this in just under an hour. So let's continue. CAD yen. CAD yen, expect continuation to the downside, just like the rest of the yen pairs. Now, silver and gold, simple analysis for this week. 3 waves down here. We've got a pulsing move, continuation to the upside. Look for a break above this and continuation to the upside. That's simply as simple as that. Gold a bit tricky, but we're expecting it to continue higher as well. Even if we've started with a 5-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we may make a pullback here and continue higher. Continuation to the upside on gold and silver. Oil, Brent crude has reversed as we have expected. Let's have a look here on under the commodities. Let's get the under commodities. And we look at Brent crude oil. For those that trade oil, there's a bit of a pullback. There's a pullback here on oil. You can see here we're expecting that oil was going to make a pullback. This is the current pullback now that you see on oil. I still expect continuation to the downside. What we have now is this wave 4 that has pulled back in wave 4, but it has pulled back very sharply like this. Just pulled back very sharply, and I'm still expecting downside. Let's go to the actual structure. Let's go to the weekly. Let's show the labeling there. So this is what I mean by it has pulled sharply. If you saw there on the chart, I was expecting it to do this, but it has pulled back for that wave 4 in just a single move. So this can still do this and make a wave 5 before the overall reversal. So let's see how this goes. It's a pullback, it's a sharp move. It's a sharp move, it's an impulsive move. Let's have a look in the lower time frame for hour. That whole move could be a wave 4 if it's not a truncation. If we start seeing this breaking above this, that's going to invalidate that. So we're going to be looking for this one to make a move down here after this corrective structure. Continuation to the downside on oil. Right, so let's look at the pound pairs. Pound chief, just like the rest of the pound pairs, we're still looking for upside. This one was one of our trade setups in the week, looking for upside. Has not we have actually been in the trade here from around this level. We're going to exit this trade because it looks like the correction is going to be a bit deep. We took this one from here, made this move to the upside. It does not look like it's going to go. It's going aggressively. Let me just go through those trade setups on the side, just we can have a look at where we were looking at the setup on pound chief. So pound chief on our trade setup, that's where we got it from, around this level. 188 has moved about 100 pips from here, but it has been going very correctively, and now it's pulling back like that. So I think we'll be looking to exit the trade and looking for a new entry. So you can see this is where we took the trade here. Not much in terms of pips there. Got it around there. It's about 200 pips. It was already reversed another 100, and it looks like it's still gonna have more correction here. But overall, just like the rest of the pound pairs, this is currently just a pullback. Look at this. This week was just one move to the downside. It was just a candle here. We're still looking for this one to continue and give us a corrective structure. The nice thing is we're going to be able to understand the corrective structure in the lower time frame, and if we continue to the upside, the indicator will confirm what we're getting there. Now structurally, just one more up here. Structurally on pound chief, what we're expecting with the rest of the pound pairs, just go one up on the weekly. Pound chief on the weekly, this is what we're expecting. We're expecting upside. As you can see here, we move to the upside and push to the upside. So we've got 3 waves down here. Move down, correction in expanding flat, and the move down. Move up in 3 waves. So it's three up, 3 down, and we're expecting a pulsing move to the upside. Even if it's 3 waves, that is still fine. So that's why we're still expecting this move to be just a corrective structure and upside. Right, so that's pound chief, the rest of the pound pairs, pound Audi. Short term, I'm just going to look at short term. Pound Audi was supposed to be ending the move, but short term looks like we're going to have another move to the upside. So pound Audi, like I said, I'm going to show you some short term trades here, breaking up here. You're still going to have upside here. Maybe even retest the previous highs at 2082.080 there on pound Audi. Still looking upside. Pound New Zealand, also upside. One more up. We've made a three-wave corrective structure here. Also looking upside here. A bit of upside, about 100, 150 pips to the upside. That's what you're looking for on pound New Zealand as well. Okay, pound CAD. Now pound CAD still looking very interesting, guys. Now, if you look at this, I said pound Audi was the trade of the week, and we've attempted to take this trade a couple of times last week. Even though this did not go, we got this one here, made a move here, and then reversed. Now we've made a bigger corrective structure in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you look at this structure, it looks exactly as the one in the weekly chart. In the weekly chart, we will see the weekly chart just now. So now, what are you looking for? After this is a wave 4. After this, you'll be looking for this correction to continue higher. So if you get a setup for entry here on pound CAD, it will still be our trade of the week for this coming week. So watch it. Now, if I'm talking about this structure, 1, 2, 3, and downside, that I'm saying is exactly similar to what's on the weekly. Let's go to the weekly or the daily. Now, if you look at the weekly, okay, let's make two charts here. Let's show two charts. So this is pound CAD on the daily. Let's get again pound CAD. I want pound CAD on the 60-minute. As you can see, if you look at this structure here, let's make full screen here. If you look at this structure on pound CAD, 1, 2, 3, and then downside. As you can see here, 1, 2, 3, and then downside. You also had exactly the same here, 1, 2, 3, and then downside. What are we expecting now? We're expecting we're going to have this move. What happened after this? After that structure, we had this pulsing move to the upside. Now here we're expecting that this one is going to follow suit in the lower degree. We're expecting the same. That's why this is our trade of the week. And structurally, this has made this expanding flat. It has made this expanding flat, which is a continuation pattern. This is the expanding flat. Let's mark it with a different color. Mike, please mark this one as a trade of the week. This is an expanding flat. After this expanding flat, you see this continuation to the upside. Same thing here. This is a zigzag. And after the zigzag, we're expecting a continuation to the upside. Okay, so that's what this structure looks like. We're looking at this as a corrective structure and looking for upside. Okay, so this is on the daily. Now, in the lower time frame, we are here. What you see here is this structure. This is the 60-minute. This is an expanded version of this. Okay, so this is confirming upside. This is still confirming upside. And this, after the expanding flat made a move to the upside. This one, after the zigzag, we should see upside. I hope that is clear, and that will be the move that we're looking for. So the only next thing is to get confirmation, and that is the tricky part. That is what is challenging for most people. Most of you know how to look at the charts. You can analyze, you can forecast, but when it comes to the strategy and with the consistency, that is what most traders struggle with. Okay, so consistency of the strategy is absolutely critical. So those are the pound pairs. Euro pound should be just a pullback here as well, and then continuation lower. As we're expecting the pound pairs, where the base pound currency is the base to continue higher after the correction, we'll be expecting this one to go lower. This on the daily, Not even going to go to the lower time frame here. Just going to look at it like that. EURJPY. Now EURJPY is still going to continue lower, even if it's just a short move. We're still expecting this one. It's showing continuation to the downside. EURJPY is supposed to be at the end of the move now. No, not on the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, we have got this structure. So it looks like we're going to have one more down before we get a pullback here on the euro. On the weekly, this one is making a base for upside. So that is EURJPY. Watch out for any push to the upside, any confirmation of upside here. We've got divergence on the 1 hour. So EURJPY may be setting up for upside. And the reason for that is that on the weekly, we're looking for this to have ended its structure. On the weekly, we've ended the structure here. There's 3 waves down, 3 waves pullback, and 3 waves down. So that's why it's making that base, and then we'll be looking for this. Even if it is a 3-wave move, that is fine. That will do this eventually in the higher degree. Okay, but for now, we're looking for, even if it's a short move here, if it's a corrective move, we can still take a trade there because that will be a big move on EURJPY. New Zealand. Let's go to the lower time frame, 4 hour. So New Zealand on the 4 hour, we're still sideways. Expect this move here, or even higher than that. Then we get this 2-wave structure there. Okay, so this can still be a bit complex. 3 waves up there, 1, 2, 3, up, and then downside. So still a bit complex. For now, we've got enough data to see that this is going to give us a bit of a move to the upside, and it will be the same structure as Audi. Looking for upside here, back to test this level as well. Looking at the rest of the cross pairs, so before that, there's EURCAD as well. EURCAD has made this 3-wave structure here. We've got a pulsing move, 1, 2, 3. Now, are we starting to make a move to the upside to go retest the top here? This will be your trade. Same way we're expecting pound CAD to make a move to the upside, we're expecting EURCAD to go retest the top. Why? Because this is the structure. We've made a pulsing move. We've made this corrective structure in 3 waves. We'll be looking for this before continuation higher. That's EURCAD, EURJPY, AUDJPY. AUDJPY, one more down. So still more weakness on the Audi and then upside. Audi New Zealand, still expecting this one to continue here, do this, and then a move to the downside. Now, this one has reached parity a couple of weeks back as we have expected from right here at the top. Now, it's coming up correctively. So this correction may be a bit extended. What we have here is a move up in a diagonal that is an A. Now we've got this as a pulsing move here. This is corrective, maybe corrective. Then you get this structure. One down, up, one down, up again in red. And only then can we make a move to the downside. If we make this big a move to the downside, that means we may go, the New Zealand may be strong against the Audi in the next coming sessions, but that's still going to take some time around this area. We're still going to be in this corrective structure for a while. Now, let's see if this makes a corrective structure. If it does, you can take this trade back to this level. CAD. CAD is a very interesting trade for the next week. Look for it to come down to this level. Correction here, you're looking for it to come down there. It's a very nice setup for the next week. So even in this market, we still have some nice trade setups. Look for it to come down to that level. Use your own strategy and your risk management. This is not going to go up as yet. It's going to come down. Corrective structure here. Continuation to the downside. New Zealand CAD. Now, New Zealand CAD, just like EURCAD and the other CAD pairs, so we're looking for CAD to be strong in the next coming sessions. We're looking for upside there. New Zealand CHF, one down, up to this level. and then continuation to the upside. We're looking for this as a three-way move to the upside. We're looking at this one as a three-wave pullback and then upside. Right, so that's all for this week, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you can get a notification next time I post the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Trade responsibly. See you again next week. Have a great week, guys. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.